This is white pine. This is one of my oldest friends. Well, really, she's everybody's oldest friends because pine is hundreds of millions of years old on planet Earth. The white pine, her needles compact in bundles of 5. The needles come in little packets in the pine packets. And so on white we can see, I'm not sure if you can see this in the camera, but it's WHITE, all right? WHITE, 5 needles per packet, simply a way to remember. White pine is very soothing medicine, very gentle and helps with flexibility. Most famous for help with respiratory infections. It is a really good antiseptic for the respiratory system. But each plant, as you know, has its spirit medicine as well, each plant, each tree. And the spirit medicine of the white pine is peace. It's peace. And you know, when I think about, if I had to think of one word that's probably the single most important quality for healing and for peace, it's flexibility. And so this tree is so flexible. It's a big, strong tree, right? It grows really, really tall, but it's such a flexible tree that often in storms we'll lose branches, and then herbalists come and they pick up the branches and they make medicine with it, whether pine oil to put on the skin, on the body, in the bath, or pine tincture, or my personal favorite, which is pine needle and twig infusion. And watch, when you want to harvest from a tree or a plant, you want to be very mindful, very careful. I always offer a giveaway. I ask permission. So this is my friend pine, and this pine always says yes to me. But I want to show you that when you want to, if you want to carefully pick, hold above, you always want to pick just above a joint. All right, so let's say we want this twig. I'm going to hold above that little twig joint. And actually, this is something I learned from the tree whisperer. I invite the pine to draw energy down below where my fingers are, because that's where I'm going to break it. I'm asking for the medicine, but I want the energy there. And then I just bend, 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 like in the medicine wheel. And it's pretty sap rich, so this is not working super easy, but I'm going to twist it and then close it like that. So, you know, obviously if I'm pruning a tree, if I'm taking whole branches off a tree, I'm going to use a tool, I'm going to use a saw. But I do want to say that in terms of harvesting medicine, whenever you can use your own hands, it's easier on the plant. It doesn't look easier, it looks like it's easier to cut with a scissor or cut with a knife. But this is, when I break like that, this is more like a deer coming along and gnawing on the plant and breaking it off. It actually heals better than a clean cut. So that's how I harvest. And I also learn that way from the plant how much it wants to give and where it wants to break. So try that. Put your hands on the plants. That you get an intimacy with them that you don't get with your knife or your scissors. And I have my pint of tea. This would be good for a pint of tea. I would chop it up. Thank you, pine. Thank you, pine. I would chop these needles up very, very small. I would open up the twig like this, all right, about like that, just to reveal the inner layer. That's the thing that will smell like the whole pine forest. Try it. And then pour boiling water over it and wait, and you have your beautiful tea. In the case of pine, I love to leave my pine needle infusion steeping as long as possible, minimum 8 hours. There's really no maximum. 12 is optional though. It makes a really wonderful medicine for the respiratory system and for inner peace. White pine, our elder.